Today on Redefining Energy, we are live from Eurelectric in Brussels, and we have a great guest, Markus Rauramo, who is not only CEO of Fortum, the great Finnish utility, but is the new President of Eurelectric. Markus, welcome to the show.
Yeah, thank you very much for having me. It's exciting times now in Eurelectric with our summit.
So, we're at the summit. We are in Brussels. Wonderful organization. Your Secretary General, Christian Ruby, has done a fantastic work. But for the people who don't know Eurelectric, what is Eurelectric?
Yeah, so Eurelectric is representing the European electricity producers and distribution companies. And that means that we have 34 member associations from 32 different countries. So that's EU plus others, plus Turkey, UK, Switzerland, Norway, and so on. So it's a big constituency. These member associations have 3,500 member companies who employ 970,000 employees and have a turnover of more than 600 billion euros. So we're representing the electricity and distribution
industry.
Business.
Well, and of course, your job is to go and fight the bureaucracy in Brussels, I guess.
I think so of course we're spending a lot of time talking with Brussels, but it is very much about the dialogue between Brussels, between EU Parliament, Commission, and customers. So trying to find common ways, trying to find collaborative, progressive ways how to reach our common goals.
Yeah. So you are now president. Congratulations. But of course, you're succeeding Leo Birnbaum, CEO of E.ON, and also known as Leo the Great, who has done an extraordinary job the past few years. So how would you describe the landscape of the industry after Leo's work?
Leo, I have to give a compliment to Leo. So he's done great work in his CEOship of E.ON, navigating through the turbulent times. And that, of course, was a big feature during his presidency of Eurelectric. We have gone through one of the most turbulent periods in European landscape with everything that has happened. So we have had COVID, we have had the Russian attack on Ukraine, the resulting commodity crisis. So Leo's leadership in navigating Eurelectric through that, maintaining a good relationship with our customers, with the Parliament, with the Commission, and with all stakeholders, and keeping Eurelectric right on track through that. I think that's his great achievement. And at the same time, when dealing with these short-term issues, and we had a lot of interaction with different stakeholders, we've stayed the course of electrification and decarbonization. Leo's special emphasis was on the grids, so really highlighting the point that in order to have this the big growth in electricity supply and electricity demand, we need really to focus on grids. So this was one point that Leo made very clear, and I think this point has sank in with the stakeholders.
Yeah,
and also I would say that it was great fun, despite the difficult circumstances with Leo and Georgios in the presidency team with the secretariat. It was also fun working together.
So now you're the president, and you have two vice presidents. One of whom I know and I like a lot, which is Georgios of PPC. So introduce probably your two vice presidents.
So we have indeed a very, very good presidency. I'm very happy about that. So Georgios was my co-vice president for 2 years. And what Georgios absolutely brings to the table is the knowledge of the Southern European market and the transformation that these markets are going through. Then we have Catherine McGregor.
Before we go to Catherine McGregor, I just want to tell the listenership that the work that Georgios has done at PPC, if you had bought shares of PPC when Georgios became CEO, you would have made more money than with Bitcoin, because under his tenure, the share price of PPC has gone up 14-fold. So he has done an extraordinary job.
In very difficult circumstances, with a very difficult starting point. And that, I think, it's symptomatic of what Europe has gone through and many countries are going through. So a massive shift from heavy fossil content into a more renewable system with a lot of investments.
So talk about Catherine now, brilliant woman.
Then moving to Catherine McGregor. So I think we have been extremely lucky to get such a prominent leader from the European utility industry as Catherine. So Catherine is CEO of Engie, and Catherine brings the wealth of experience not only from Engie but from her previous jobs in other companies. And she brings the continental view, but also she has the electricity business in Engie, and they have the gas business, which I think is a good complement. So of course we're not representing the gas utility.
Yeah, they represent themselves very well.
They're represented separately, but it's good to keep in mind that we need to do a huge transformation from doubling electricity use and then halving the gas use and making that also clean if we want to achieve the decarbonization and electrification targets that we have. So having Catherine's knowledge and being able to also have empathy towards this transformation that has to happen, there Catherine is indispensable. And I think we have been, before we were appointed just right now during this summit, we have worked for some weeks already forming the presidency manifesto, and I would say we have a great dynamic, and we're really covering from myself having the weight on the Nordic and Northern European experience and presence. We have Catherine covering the continent, having great visibility there, and then Georgios covering south of Europe. The presidency really represents the whole of Europe.
So you mentioned the word manifesto. The one I know is from Karl Marx, very, very successful. So what about the Eurelectric manifesto? What's in it?
Yeah, so for me also the word manifesto, that in my mind when I joined the presidency 2 years ago, I was wondering a little bit that what is this manifesto thing about, but let's say that it's the presidency agenda.
Okay.
So we're basically communicating that what are the things we will put our focus on for the next 2 years. And we have 3 key points there. Okay. Number one is focus on the customers, focus on industrial and customer decarbonization. Second point is security of supply. And that is both the security of supply of the system and finding the new optimum in the changing environment, but also hard security, physical security. And the third point is digitalization and AI. And actually all these 3 things go extremely well hand in hand, because on this electrification journey, having to double the use of electricity and production of electricity, it will be very different than it was historically. We're very used to dispatchable fossil-fired thermal power, which is easy to control, and you can steer the system easily. We're going into an intermittent, flexible, volatile system with a lot of renewables that will require a lot of flexibility from private customers, from SMEs, from industrial customers, and storage. So the whole optimization problem will look very different. On top of that, we will move to 15-minute trading, which means that any data we have will quadruple. And that's where the digitalization and AI come into play. So we need to embrace the digital tools, the AI capabilities to integrate much more assets into the system to produce good outcomes for our customers. And that takes us back to the customer focus. So we need to understand steel, aluminium, chemicals, hydrogen, data centers, battery factories, and continuously talk with our customers to explain what can we do in 5 years' time, 10 years' time, 15 years' time. What do we need to deploy the capital to produce what they need? And then we need to listen to the customers that what do your processes look like today? Can you do something different? Can you flex maybe somewhat your process? Can you redesign it? And as an industry, when following these 3 presidency manifesto points, we have the track record and ability to deploy hundreds of billions of capital to make this transformation possible. So we can do it, but it requires a lot of customer intimacy. it requires a robust system that provides the security of supply, and it's underpinned by the digitalization.
One topic which is totally linked, very close to my heart, and I know there are a lot of discussion, in particular in the GHG protocol, is about the 24/7 tracking. So that's something that Eurelectric supports, I guess.
Yes, so it's clear that be it electricity or be it other use of raw materials, other processes, tracking of the origin of what we produce and what we consume becomes very important. Otherwise, you cannot certify, you cannot report your processes, and that's again where digital and AI become very valuable. And this is for, if you take ETS for example, that's a typical example of that. You have to track what you produce, and you have to acquire or have the certificates and then surrender them to the authority at the right point in time. So
here, how many participants do we have?
I heard the number about 700 in this, if we talk about the summit.
Yeah, the summit,
yeah,
700.
Yeah,
but 700,
like 700.
Very high level. And so I've heard a lot of debates, and in fact, they're all inside your manifesto. So the lot of conversation have been around Spain, the blackout in Spain. Got a lot of conversation around AI and, the promise of load growth, which we kind of been lacking here in Europe. A lot of conversation about security, a lot of conversation about, volatility of prices. So, in fact, your manifesto and what you hear from, the expert and the practitioner, they are kind of aligned. So that's a good thing. At least, we know what is to be done, and let's do it. Is there any message you want to pass to regulators? Because, that's the moment.
I agree with you. It is an intuitive manifesto, and it is tightly anchored to understanding the customer needs, and that's why we have been as Eurelectric, we have been engaging in the Antwerp Declaration, and we have developed and invested in the customer dialogue ourselves, and that actually, when we arranged a follow-up that we called Antwerp Dialogue, we invited also EU officials to participate in it. So the key message to the political and regulatory side is that let's all talk together and make sure we understand what is technically possible to do and commercially possible to do, what are the customer needs, and then how does the regulation and politics fit around that. So the intuition is something I'm really looking for. So I'm really happy to hear that if this feels like it's kind of an organically developing manifesto and thing, that's how it should be. So it should feel like, okay, we know where we're heading, and we know how to do it in a collaborative, transparent way with a lot of dialogue.
Look, I always crack the joke that when you talk about reducing bureaucracy in Brussels, they say, oh, great, we're going to write a 400-page report on how to reduce bureaucracy. But that's just me.
So talking about about your joke about the 400-page package on reducing bureaucracy, EU is engaging in the omnibus package to reduce bureaucracy. And of course, the concern could be that, well, we'll create additional bureaucracy. But I think there's a serious attempt to look at all the regulation that we have in place, look at what is overlapping, can something be reduced? And I think this should be also, and this is my message to the EU establishment, that if you introduce something new, look at what you have already in place, and then try to keep the stack manageable. Company like Fortum, we can do the CSRD reporting, we can do taxonomy reporting, and all the rest. But I can see that there is duplication and triplication of information, and all of that is not used by our stakeholders. So I welcome.
You publish report that nobody reads. So what's the point?
Yeah. Then I can say that the content of the CSRD reporting.
I have no idea what CSRD is. I know they're good at that.
Corporate Sustainability Reporting Directive. So this is something that good companies who are focused on sustainability, in essence, have done for 20 years. So for us, for example, in Fortum, this wasn't huge additional burden.
Fortum is easy. It's one page where, we're good. We clean.
It's 200 pages. So
we got this.
It's a lot of information.
Yeah.
But this is something that actually people are using. But all of the information that is reported and published is not used. So it's good to review.
So Fortum, you've been through 5 difficult years, and the main culprits are, as usual, the Russians, directly, indirectly. So explain what happened the past 5 years for Fortum.
Before 2020, Fortum was focused on Nordics in clean energy production, in district heating, in distribution of energy, as well as the retail, the customer businesses. And during the preceding years, we divested our grids business, we divested a big part of our district heating business, and eventually acquired a majority stake, and we went up to 80% with Uniper.
So Uniper, for the people who don't know, it was the fossil fuel generation of E.ON. That's correct.
And the gas trading and commodity trading
gas trading
part of E.ON.
Okay,
Yes.
so you went big gas at the moment where Russia squeezed the whole system, basically.
And the idea there is that we get a strong continental footprint. We can decarbonize, as we had done in many other places. We can decarbonize the production fleet, and we get an integrated offering of electricity and gas. In addition, by the way, we did have a large Russian business as well.
Yeah.
So we had about 5 gigawatts of electrical capacity in Russia. So we had increased the ownership to about 80% in Uniper. Then came the
at the wrong moment.
Then came the volatility of prices first in late 2021, and eventually in 2022, Russia started to reduce the
flows,
the flows of gas, which became a problem. So we had to post increasing collaterals for the high prices into the exchanges. So at the peak, we had 15 billion of collaterals outstanding in the exchanges with ourselves and Uniper. And then with the gas flows being reduced, we ended up having to still deliver to our customers in Uniper, but had to buy the gas from the market. So this resulted in a massive need for recapitalization, which was not possible for Fortum or a commercial party to do. So this resulted in that we sold our stake, our ownership stake, to the German government, who then recapitalized Uniper. So now it's majority owned by the German government. Simultaneously, then after Russia's attack on Ukraine, eventually in 2023, Russia took over the managerial control of our Russian business. And then we wrote the Russian business down.
Ula.
Having said all of this, so after that, Fortum has focused on clean Nordic energy. And what has fundamentally changed is that the prospect of growth of demand in the Nordics is something that we haven't seen in the last 30 years. So there's a great growth prospect for our Nordic business. The production that we have today, which is mainly hydropower and nuclear power, is 99% CO2 free. Yeah. In addition, we have 2.2.
Well, I always have the question when say it's 100%. Who says 1%? Where is the 1%?
So there's a little bit of still gas-fired capacity.
Okay, that's
in our portfolio, and that will also fade away. And then focus on the growth in renewables. So that is coming. But then we have 2.2 million retail customers, so we're the biggest retail company in the Nordics. The balance sheet is in great shape. So after all this turbulence, we are actually debt-free.
Yeah, wow.
And we have almost 10 billion of equity and 8 billion of liquidity. So we're in a great position to support our customers to grow our supply and meet the growing needs. So we are talking with different sectors: steel, aluminium, data centers, hydrogen, synthetic fuels, battery factories, and we see the potential that the Nordic demand in the next 25 years could grow from 400 terawatt hours to 600, even 800 terawatt hours. And the way we are approaching that is that we are developing new renewables. So we have 5 gigawatts of capacity in permitting and more in early stages of planning. We are developing flexibility.
So that's going to be mostly wind?
It is wind and solar.
And solar,
So,
okay.
so historically it's wind, but solar is becoming also competitive in the Nordics. Then on the flexibility side, we have pumped hydro development in Sweden and Finland. And these we have several projects that are each some hundreds of megawatts. So really big storage to complement the renewables. And then we have on the full load side, we are developing new nuclear. So we have feasibility study on new nuclear. We're looking at both large reactors and SMRs. That's of course somewhere in the future. But the message to the customers is that we can meet your growing energy needs, and there is infrastructure to support you.
Yeah, and the cash to support it.
We have the financial means to do it.
Yeah, so that's really great. So the message is welcome to Scandinavia.
It is definitely the message, and in addition to that, that there is the possibility to both. There is CO2-free, very cost-competitive supply today. There is the prospect of the new supply, but there is infrastructure. So the Nordic countries have a history of heavy industries like pulp and paper, steel, chemicals. So basically, all the way up to Arctic Circle and even north of that. You have huge steel mills, you have big pulp mills, so you have all the infrastructure, the roads, the ports, the grids, the people, all the competence that you need also for new projects. In order to support the customers further, what we have done in Fortum is that we are developing sites. So what we hear from customers is that they need grids, they need power, they need sites where they can locate. And I'll give an example of what this means. In the capital region of Finland, around Helsinki, in 2018, our team set out to develop 3 sites, generic sites that could fit data center use. And a couple of years later, after we had started the permitting and zoning, and we spoke with the TSO to get the grid connections available, we met Microsoft. And then a while later, we announced the cooperation, selling these sites to Microsoft. And then we have agreed on the heat offtake from the data centers, hyperscale data centers that they're building in these locations. So 2 out of the 3 will be connected to our district heating network. So we have a 2 terawatt-hour district heating system in Espoo and Kirkkonummi. And out of these data centers and the connected electrical boilers and heat pumps, we will provide 1.4 terawatt-hours to the 2 terawatt-hour system. This is the world's biggest heat offtake.
Wow.
But it's a long project. So starting from 2018, Microsoft will start their operations in 2027. So almost 10 years.
Yeah.
But we can expedite our customers' location by 4-5 years with this activity. And with about a dozen sites that we have under development now, we can provide grid connection up to 1.3 gigawatts.
Wow.
And this is quite unusual in a European context.
So repeat very, very gently for all our infrastructure clients around the world looking to develop data center. You just said, I've got 1.3 gigawatt of capacity. Please come. You can plug here. The electricity is cheap. We're educated. It's clean. We're Scandinavian, so we're serious. We respect our contract. Everything takes the time it takes, but things get done. So that's your message.
This is indeed the case, and that does not only apply to data centers, but we have sites with ports. We have that are at the ports. So typically industrial could be steel, could be aluminium, hydrogen, battery factories. So there is infrastructure also for heavy export or import oriented industries available. Yes, so very welcome, very ready to do new business.
Good. Okay, so now let's talk about the giant bear in the room, which is your eastern neighbor, who's not only has been causing indirectly trouble, but is bothering you on a daily basis, if I understand. So what's going on there?
So of course we have a land border of 1,300 kilometers with Russia. So we are neighbors forever. So we have to have a relationship of varying sort over time. And now with the war on Ukraine, the EU position and Finnish position is clear. So we are against this aggression against Ukraine. So now the relationship is very cold between the two countries. There is investment into preparedness continuously, and not as such saying that this is Russia, but just generically. As a company, we are continuously under cyber attacks daily. We have drones flying around. There's espionage. There's satellite disruption, communication disruption. But this is something that for us is something we deal with daily. And in this environment, the availability of our hydropower and nuclear power is over 90%. Mm-hmm. So we keep our plants available. How to tackle this is own preparedness, having good situational awareness, authority contacts. So we are talking with the authorities, with police, with the military, with other authorities, and all the time keeping our responses up to date, and then practicing. Mm-hmm. So if I look, last 3 years we have had more than 20 exercises with various authorities, and this can be just exercising, nuclear incidents, dam incidents, disturbance, and this is not relating to the current situation, but this is what we have done for years and years. So practicing and doing things together and very collaboratively is something that is a feature.
Markus, it's been a very dense conversation, and I thank you for your openness and honesty. In conclusion, so how's the energy and electricity landscape in Europe in the next 3 to 5 years?
In the short term, the situation is, as we very well know, it's very volatile. So the geopolitics are turbulent, and there's a lot of uncertainty. Looking long term, we have great potential to electrify and decarbonize Europe and global businesses. And this is something that we are set out to do both in Eurelectric and in Fortum. So our message to the customers and the society is that we want to be open, we want to engage in a dialogue, we want to be collaborative and find good solutions to meet our common goals. And I would maybe I distill it in what is Fortum's purpose, and that is to power a world where people, nature, and business thrive together. So that is what we are set out to do: find the right balance, reach ambitious goals, and do it together.
Well, that's a great message of hope and a bright future. So I thank you very much for coming on the show. I say good luck as a president, and we'll see you next year.